Rafa might say this morning.
Okay, hello. Michael is very happy to be here. It's a great honour for me to be here at Dundalk FM. Thank you very much for having me on. Okay, Michael, you asked me earlier on before the interview about Liverpool. Okay, no, Liverpool is a fantastic club, but at the moment I am not interested in going back to Liverpool because Liverpool is a very good time. I had a very good time at Liverpool, but okay, my English is not fantastic, so hopefully all the Dundalk listeners can hear me properly. But to all the Liverpool fans out there, it's hard when you leave Liverpool and you go to Inter Milan and things don't work out there. And I haven't had a job in 3.5 years now, and so I am at the moment I am third favourite to take over Liverpool. But okay, they have fantastic players like Stevie Gerrard. Okay, Jimmy Carragher's another fantastic player, But at the moment, I just like to tell all Liverpool fans that I have no interest in taking over at Liverpool, and at the moment I am enjoying my time on serving my time on TV punditry.
How do you think the Liverpool fans would react if you were to get the job again?
Okay, no, I think it's 50-50 at the moment because some people say to me, Rafa, I say, okay, you spent £200 million on crap players, but okay, there's a few players who are quality. You talk about Fernando Torres, you talk about Lucas Livia, you talk about Pepe Reina, fantastic players, no? But okay, I will talk. There's a lot of fans saying, okay, Rafa, we want you to come back, and there's fans saying, Rafa, we don't want you to come back, because people say that Kenny Dalglish got sacked for the same reason I got sacked, no? Because we spent a lot of money on crap players. So at the moment, Michael, I am not too sure about going back because it's all about the fans. Because the fans are the 12th man for Liverpool. They're the most fantastic fans in the world, no? Because I know a lot of them. I've been living in Liverpool for the last 6 years now, so it's just fantastic. But okay, at the moment, I am not interested in going back to Liverpool.
I suppose now the fact that you've just sacked Liverpool, that is, have just sacked Kenny Dalglish, and Kenny himself, way back in the 80s, he became player manager of Liverpool. Any chance maybe that Steven Gerrard might become player manager? Stevie, would you take over the job as of now?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, Michael. I haven't really got that much managerial experience. There's a lot of people saying to me, Stevie, you're 23 years of age now, and there's a lot of people say about myself, I suffer with a rare disease. It's called miserableitis. But you know what I mean, of course, you have to look at Kenny. Kenny was fantastic in the 80s and 90s, and Kenny's been a fantastic bloke. He's really brought a big massive big hug around the team. It's just been fantastic. In the league we've been brutal,
but hugs don't win matches, do they?
Yeah, of course hugs don't win matches, of course, but I think, to be honest, I think Dalglish should have got another year, and it's hopefully now we get a new manager in soon enough before the Euros, so we can progress for the next season and bring a few players in.
And what about Jamie Carragher, your old Liverpool mate? What does he think of the whole situation? Many years left, Jamie?
Yeah, you know what I mean, of course, yeah. I'm 25 years of age now, and of course, you have to look for the retirement days. I'm looking forward to just spending, at the moment I have a Liverpool restaurant in the middle of Liverpool. It's fantastic restaurants, it's a family-run restaurant, so I'm looking forward to doing that at the end of my career, but at the moment, I'm 25 years of age now, and as I said before, well, I haven't got a lot of games this season because, players like Martin Skrtel and also Daniel Lyle were fantastic this season, and, Martin or Daniel might have got injured in a couple of games and I got a bit of a run. But you know what I mean, of course, you have to talk about Kenny Dalglish. Dalglish has been fantastic for Liverpool. He's had a fantastic career, and just the way it's ended up, it's just not been right for Kenny.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Kenny, he was living off his reputation from his last spell at Liverpool. And you can't win football matches with big hugs or with reputations, can you?
No, not at all, you know what I mean? For the first couple of weeks, when Kenny took over as caretaker, it worked very well, because he gave the club a great boost after Roy Hodgson was sacked, because, Roy Hodgson is the England manager now, and God's help England. We'll never go back to England if that plonker's are there, But you know what I mean, of course, I'm not going to talk about Roy Hodgson, I know he's let Rio go, the England fold up, and, congratulations to Stevie. I'd like to congratulate Stevie over there and the captaincy of England. It's fantastic for him, and it's another great boost for Liverpool, having a boyhood player, a captain in England, and hopefully he manage England and Liverpool one day.
Well, you mentioned England managers and England captains there, past England captains. Coming up Euro 2012, one player won't be involved. I suppose, thankfully for you, David Beckham give you a bit of a chance maybe to spend with your family. word has it you could be at the Olympics as well. David, what do you think of the whole situation?
Yeah, Michael, you know, yeah, life's good. You know, of course, you know, I've got Euro 2012. I'm looking forward to that a lot, you know. But, you know, the one good thing about Euros, the Euro 2012, I'm going to see Gary Neville a lot more. You know, I heard he's a new coach in England. So, you know, Roy Hodgson's done a great job. I know he's left out Rio. But, you know, at the end of the day, Gary Neville's just fantastic.
He's one of your old mates.
Yeah, I know Gary a long time. You know, even talking about Gary, I get goosebumps. You know, Gary's one of these special blokes in my life, and you know, there is only 2 women in my life, and it's Gary Neville and Victoria. You know, but you know, me and Gary, we're the best men at each of our weddings, and you know, it's one thing about England I miss. It is Gary Neville, and he's just fantastic on Sky Sports. He's just brilliant.
Do you think possibly now that the fact that he's gone and joined the England setup, it's going to maybe have a clash with his day job? Will it hinder his punditry with Sky Sports, do you think?
Yeah.
Do you want me to rephrase the question, David? Is it too difficult?
No, not at the moment, you know. But yeah, you know, Gary's fantastic. You know, Gary's a great job at Sky Sports, and now in England and everything else. It's going to be great for Gary, but you know, it's going to be great for me as well this summer, because I'm going to be with the English teams in the Olympics, and also I'm going to be able to spend a lot of time with our very own Victoria Beckham. I love Victoria a lot, and she's just great, and the kids are great too, and just LA at the moment is just fantastic.
Any chance of you coming back and play with a real team?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people say to me, David, what about coming back to England? But Michael, I just have a thing about people throwing boots at me. I just don't like it. So, but the only reason I come back to England is for Gary Neville, and you know, at the moment I'm very happy in LA.